Hi, I'm Grant Abbott. I'm Chairman of the Australian SMSF Members Association. Today I'm talking to baby boomers. That's people like me. We were born between 1946 and also 1964. Guess what's right in front of us at the moment? That damn thing called retirement. Who'd ever thought us baby boomers are going to retire? And I tell you what, don't even worry about calling it retirement or taking a pension. Let's just say that, we're growing old gracefully. God forbid, I've just seen the Beach Boys come out on an Australian tour after 50 years. We're at the forefront here, and we've changed history all along the way. And the big thing we need to now focus in on, and I put it to you to do your research, is that at the moment there's 2.8 million of our parents, or what we call the war generation or the silent generation, sitting out there. But over the next 5 to 10 to 15 years, we're actually going to start to hit retirement pretty hard. And the problem about that is, if you think how stretched the Australian system is at the moment with 2.8 million war generation, the healthcare costs, the social security, the age pension costs. If you think how stretched it is at the moment, wait until we come on board. There's 4.8 million of us. So once we start to go through, there's going to need to be a doubling of healthcare. There's going to need to be a doubling of the social security or the age pension. And that's going to be quite scary for future governments, and something we need to put in mind. Which means at the end of the day, we need to start to look at our investments. We need to start to look at what we've got a nest egg and make it last as long as possible. I don't want to be age 85 waiting for a hip replacement, for 5, 6, 7 months. If you've got the money, you want to get in there and basically do it straight off. So baby boomers, look at what you've got. Now, the problem about us as baby boomers is we suck at superannuation. The government, in its wisdom, decided in 2007 to actually be in a position of saying, well, if you take money out of super, it's tax-free. Well, that's fine for them to tell us that, and that's great for our kids, the Gen X's and Gen Y's, because they're not going to take full advantage of it. But for us, most of us have done all our wealth creation outside of superannuation. We've got small amounts. We've only got probably around about half the size of Gen X's, our children's amount in superannuation, because of those investments outside. What you need to do, though, is you've got to sit down and make sure you get with a good SMSF strategist, someone who really knows their stuff, about seeing how you can transfer what you build up outside, whether it's residential properties, whether it's shares, managed funds. See how you can effectively transfer it outside of super into super cost effectively. See, now, if you can manage to do that, you sit down, do a quick, spend yourself a little bit of time, have a glass of red wine, get a piece of paper out, look at what's going to happen when you get to retirement. All your investments are going to have no gearing on them. Work out how much tax that's going to be over the next 10 to 15 years for you. It's going to be hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of dollars. Then what you want to do is, another side, is actually start to say, well, what would happen if this sits inside my superannuation fund and I'm not paying any tax? At the moment, if it's in a pension stage, or you've got your own little account-based pension sitting in there, and remember, in a self-managed super fund, you're the controller. When it sits in there, you don't pay any tax. When you pull it out, you don't pay any tax. At the end of the day, you've got tax versus no tax. If you can switch those assets over, you're going to be there getting that capital working for you for a longer time, and it's there going to protect you when we have a look 15, 20 years down the track, when those costs of healthcare, aged care, and also we have a look at the cost in terms of social security, are really going to make a big difference. Baby boomers, this is not a time to go to sleep. This is a time to wake up to your super and really start to make it work for you. Try and get those investments outside to take advantage of the tax-free super, and you can still have full control of it because it's going to be in your self-managed super fund. For those of you who managed to actually find this video on there, you're already halfway there. There's a lot of baby boomers who won't even ever see this sort of video. It's time to take action, time to really wake up your super, wake up for that next stage of your life. Anyway, it's Grant Abbott, Chairman of the Australian SMSF Members Association, signing off.